Hi everyone, this is Arun Reddy here. Welcome to my YouTube channel Arun Reddy Tech for You. In this video, we are going to discuss about a topic called transaction. Okay. So friends, if you are new to my video and if you want to learn DBMS, you can go through my channel playlist where you can find a DBMS playlist where remaining videos are available. And if you want to learn DBMS in Telugu, there is another playlist called DBMS in Telugu where remaining videos are available. And if you don't want to miss my video, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to like and share my videos. And if you are watching any video and if you want before and after videos, you can go through the video file description where remaining videos links are available. Okay, so let us move to our topic. Okay, so our topic is transaction, and in transaction we are going to discuss about transaction definition, transaction operations, transaction properties, and state of transaction. So let us first start with the transaction definition. Okay, so what is a transaction? Set of logical related operations is known as a transaction. Okay, so what you are saying, set of logical related operations. Okay, so what you are saying here, for example, a transaction contains multiple operations, or multiple operations or collection of operations is called as transaction. See, or you can also say set of, but they should be logically related. Okay, so set of logical related operation, that means a transaction contains multiple operations and multiple operations can be said as a transaction, single transaction. So I will show you an example. For example, I want to withdraw the money from the ATM. So what I will do, I'll just follow certain process. For example, first I will initiate. Okay, I will just insert the card, then I will choose the language, I will select the saving account or current account, I will enter the amount, next entering the ATM pin. Okay, then I will collect the cash, right? So at last I will say end or finish, right? So these are the transactions, so these are the operations. See, all these are operations. And what is a transaction? See, withdrawing money from the ATM is a transaction. But to do this transaction, we are performing all these operations. So now all these operations, okay, so collection of or set of operation is called as transaction. See, that's why one transaction contains multiple operations or collection of operation. Okay, so that's why we'll call set of logical related operations. Actually, operations. Okay, so operations is called transaction. Right. Now same thing I will show you in the form of example, a small example. See, for example, a bank employee transferred 500 rupees from A's accounts to B's account. So how we will write? See, first A's account, opening account, and opening account, what it contains, A balance contains old balance. For example, last previous balance is 5,000. Okay, so last 5,000, last balance is 5,000. 5,000 means, so present balance also 5,000, right? New balance 5,000 minus 500 because I am transferring 500 to B's account, right? So now what happens? The 5,000 from 5,500 will be reduced. So automatically it will be 4,500. Now in the B's account I should add, right? So again B's account. So B's account old balance 4,000. Now add 500. Okay. So new balance is equal to old balance plus 500. Now I am adding 500. And now new balance is, what is B balance? New balance 4,500. So I am reducing 500 from the A's account and adding money 500 to the B's account, right? So now this is a transaction. Okay, so this is how we represent the transaction. Now let us see what are the operations we have. Okay, so the main operations in the transaction are two: read and write. So what is read means? Just checking the database. Okay, so checking the data in the database is called as read. Okay, so read operation, we will be writing read A, or we can also write RA shortcut. Okay, so read the value from A from the database and stores it in the buffer. See, for example, computer contains hard disk and what you'll say, RAM, right? So suppose whenever you want to open and see the MS Word document, what you will do? You will click on the MS Word document. So what RAM will do? It will take from the system, okay, hard disk, and it will take to the RAM first. Okay, so operating system, what it will do? It will instruct. So it will take from the hard disk to RAM and it will show. So when you are reading, it will come to the database to buffer. When you are writing, for example, if you type some paragraph in the same Word document, you have typed some paragraph, then also it will be in the buffer state. When you say Ctrl S, it will be saved in the secondary memory. When you say control S, after completing typing, you will say control S, right? Here also we will write the operation. Okay, so write, what happened, what write will do, it will see, it will write the value back to the database from the buffer. See, when I say control S, what happens, whatever changes done in the buffer will be saved permanently in the database. So read operation will read, write operation will update, or read operation we can say check. Okay, so let us take a small example so you can understand. Same example, same money transfer account. Okay, so let us take a debit transaction from an account. Okay, consist of following operations. For example, read A, RAC. RA means read A. So I am checking the balance. So it is showing 5000. So it has read as 5000. Now A is equal to A minus 1000. That means 1000 rupees minus from the 5000. Now these things are done in the buffer. See, after successfully, for example, you have minus your account has minus 5000 rupees, and other account successfully added 5000 rupees. Now your your transaction is successful. Now what it will do, it will commit. That means it will write the transaction in the hard disk permanently. So what it will write, it will update bank balance as 4000. Why? Because 5000 minus 1000, that is 4000, right? So this is how we perform read and write operation, right? So read operation will take the data from the database and stores in buffer. Write operation, whatever the changes done in the buffer will be stored in the database. Okay, right. Now let us move to the transaction properties. What is transaction properties, or we'll also say property of transaction. So there are 4. What are there? Atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Okay, so these 4 are required by to maintain consistent in the database. So database should be correct. Consistent means it should be correct. Okay, right. So let us see one by one. Atomicity first. Okay, so it's the state. It state that all operations of transaction take place at once. If not, the transaction is aborted. So what you are saying, for example, a transaction contains lot of operations, right? So all the operations will be successful, or all the operations should be aborted or rolled back, means cancelled. For example, I have inserted a ATM card into the account, right? So or example, let us okay, I will take the ATM card example. So suppose I have taken a ATM card, inserted, entered the selected language, selected, enter the pin, successfully entered. I have entered the money. Okay, 5000 I want to withdraw. Now after entering 5000, I said yes, but transaction failed. Why? Because you don't have a balance of 5000. Now what happens, all the transactions are waste. Okay, it will roll back again, it will show the balance, it will not deduct the amount from your account, it cannot deduct, right? Okay, so what happens, for example, you have entered right amount but your pin was wrong, again it will not minus your balance, right? So what it will cancel all the transactions, sorry, all the operations, sorry. Okay, transaction content, all the operations are cancelled. That means either it will be completely successful or aborted. Okay, for example, I have transferred money from my phone to other person's phone account. Okay, so when transferring, what happens, the money has successfully reached from my account, means here it is added, here it is minus the 500 amount minus, then there it is added, then it is called as successful. It's okay. Suppose my transaction has been success, that means my account, it has been deducted 500, but it is not deposited in my friend's account. Now this state should not be there, right? So atomicity will not allow this. Either it will cancel the my transaction, that means 500 deducted, right? So it will cancel the transaction, or it will successfully transfer the amount to the other person. It will not be in the midway. Okay, midway, half of success will not be there. Okay, so half operation success, operation failed, it will not be there, right? Okay, so there is no midway. So what you are saying, either it should be successful or it should be cancelled or rolled back. Okay, so that the transaction cannot occur partially. So partial successful is not available, or partial partial operation success is not available. Okay, so either it should be success or fail, right? So each transaction is treated as one unit. Either run to complete or not executed at all. So what you are saying, for example, there are 9 operations. For example, 5 operations are there from to transfer my money to my friend's money. So all the 5 operations will be success if the transaction is success, or all the 5 transaction will be what you will say cancelled if the transaction is failed. So transaction is as a unit. Transaction means as a unit, and all the operations will work as a single unit. Okay, that's what he is saying. It is treated as one unit. Okay, either all 5 will transaction success, or either all 5 will be cancelled. Okay, right. So same again, 2 operations will be there in the atomicity. Abort, commit. If it is successful, it will commit. That means the changes will be made in the, if a transaction is success, the changes will be made in the database. That means 500 will be deducted from my account, and 500 will be added to my friend. If the transaction is failed, it will roll back, and it will not do any changes in the database, right? Okay, so same example. Okay, so consist of T1 transaction, T2 transaction, and see, A account has 600, B has 300, transferring 100 from A to B. So what happens? See, read A is equal to A minus 100. That means now 600, 100 minus means successfully transferred. So what it will do, it will write as A as 500, because 600 minus 100. Same thing happens here. So it will add 100 and it will write as 400. Okay, now you can see A consists of 500 and B consists of 400, right? So it will only commit either abort. If it so if a transaction is committed, successful, it will commit. That means it will change permanently. If transaction fails, it will not change any database. Okay, that's atomicity. Now let us go to the consistency. What is consistency? Means the see, integrity constants are maintained so that database in consistency before and after the transaction. So before, what happens, before transaction what is the amount, and after the transaction amount, it should be balanced. For example, my account I have 5,000, my friend account is 10,000. Sorry, friend account has 5,000. So 5,000 plus 5,000, 10,000. Now if I transfer 1,000 from my account to my friend account also, so my account contains 4,000, my friend account will contain 6,000. So again it will be same. So before transaction also it is 10,000, after transaction also it is a 10,000. So for example, total amount must be same before or after transaction. So let me show you example. For example, see, 100 transferred, same previous example, 100 added, 100 minus 100 added. So what happens before before transaction? 600 plus 300, A has 600, B has 300, total 900. After transaction, see, from A 600, 100 deducted, that means 500, 100 is added in the B, so 400. So 500 plus 400, 900. Then this database is consistent, because transaction is successful. If T1 success and T2 fail, what happened? Then inconsistency. For example, see, 600, 300. See, next what happens after transaction? It has directed, see, here it has directed minus 100, but here it didn't add. That means the amount is deducted from the T1, sorry, A, but amount is not added in the B. Now see, there is a difference. Here it is showing 800 and before transaction is 900. So this is called inconsistent state. Right. Next, isolation. What do you mean by isolation? Means transaction will be isolated from the other transaction. Okay. For example, you are operating, you are doing some operation on X account. Now X account will be freezed. That means it will be isolated from other transaction. Okay. So see, it shows the data which is used at the time of execution of the transaction cannot be used by the second transaction. Okay, until the first is completed. So until first is completed, you cannot use for the second, right? For example, there is a washroom. Let us assume there are a washroom. So if one person enters into the washroom, another person has to wait until he complete, right? Same thing happened in the isolation. So let me explain you. Okay, see, in isolation, T1 is executed and using the data item X. Then the data item cannot be accessed by another transaction T2 until the transaction T1 is ended. See here what happens until the transaction, you can see the arrow symbol. Until T1 has completed the transaction, the T2 is not applicable. Okay, so after end of the T1, then it is T2 started. See, this time it is didn't started, right? For example, there is 1,000 rupees. I have withdrawn 500 rupees from the ATM. it is now it balance is 500. Now T2, so it has read that amount is 500. Now I am trying to transfer 1000 rupees to my friend. It will fail because due to insufficient balance. Now it has already read that 500 is. Suppose if this transaction doesn't happen, what happens? Then it transaction would have been successful, right? So when it is not in isolation state, no isolation state, what happens? See, it is reading x 1000. T2 transaction also trying to read the balance as 1000. For example, I am trying to withdraw money, or given a card to my friend to withdraw money. Now I have a phone pay in my hand, so I am trying to transfer money to my friend. So when I when I insert the card into the ATM, it has read that my balance is 1000. When I open phone pay, it has read that amount is 1000, right? So I have withdrawn 500. After that, what happens? I have transferred 1000. See what it is showing. Actually, this transaction should be failed, but what happens? They are working simultaneously. This should not happen. So until you complete the T1, it should not start the T2, right? So this state is called as isolation. So what happens in isolation transaction? X will be freezed until T1 complete. X cannot be operated by the T2. See, so after writing, it has released. Now you can operate. Okay, right. Next, durable. Durable means once you have, for example, I have deposited 10,000 rupees in my account. After completing the transaction, again the transaction failed. Transaction was success, but it has not updated properly in the database. Then what happens? Waste, right? So nobody will believe, nobody will deposit money, nobody will have a faith in online or a banking, right? So what do you mean by durability? Generally, when you buy some product, what you will say, what is the durability? How long the life? Okay, right. So here also durability means once the data has been committed, a transaction, the changes has to be made by the transaction should be permanent. So once your transaction is completed, it is permanent. Once you have deposited 10,000 into your account, 10,000 will be saved permanently in your account. Now after completing transaction, it will go, no, it will not happen. For example, see, if a person has credited dollars, okay, so $5 lakh to his account, okay, so the bank cannot say that the update has been lost. It cannot say. So to avoid this problem, what you will say, we have lot of different servers, right? Okay, so what it will do, multiple copies of database are stored at different location. So different location, multiple database copies will be stored, multiple copies. So automatically it will be permanently. So there is a durable also, right? Okay. So once what are the 5 properties? Atomicity. Atomicity means either transaction will be success or fail, not in between, right? Next, consistency means before transaction and after transaction balance should be same, then only it is called consistency. Okay, it's not something 500 gone somewhere, no, it should not be like that, right? Isolation, if after a completion of transaction, next transaction should be. Okay, durability, once a committed has been done, it should be stored permanently. Okay, so these are the 4 properties of transaction. Now let us move to the states of transaction. What do you mean by states of transaction? Means present status. Okay, present status is called as states of transaction. So how many states will be there? Means there are active state, partial committed state, failed state, and terminated state. So let me explain one by one. Now you can see this diagram, right? So I'll explain this diagram step by step. For example, I will take same example again, withdrawing money from the ATM. Okay, so I will keep a card in the ATM. So transaction initiated, you have inserted a card. So what happened? Account has been activated. Once I insert the card, account has been activated. Now I will just select the language, enter the current account or saving account, and enter the pin. Pin has been validated successfully. No, my pin is correct. Okay, now till now it is partially committed, means pin okay. After that, what happens? I have entered the money to withdraw, transaction processed, and transaction failed due to low balance. See, now transaction processing, see, I have entered 5,000, but actually my balance is 3,000. So till now pin was valid, language was selected, and saving account partially committed. Now when I say money, I have entered money, so what happens? The money was insufficient. So now it came back to the failed position. See, from partial committed to failed position. See, now transaction will be rolled back. So until now, what are the operations we have done, it will be rolled back. Okay, so transaction aborted. Now at last you will it will ask to enter finish or end. We will click done, right? So that's called terminated state. Okay, so end of the state, right? So same example I will take, so I will take another example to understand committed. Okay, so we have understood partial committed, let us understand committed. Okay, so same example again, I have inserted a card and selected language, entered password, entered amount, okay, entered pin. Now I have balanced this step. So what happens, it has successfully done, and I have collected the cash. See, after once cash is collected, it will get committed. That means the changes. Now for example, I have withdrawn 5,000 from my account, and my account balance is 10,000. So what it will do, 10,000 minus 5,000, so it will update as 5,000. So you have finished the end of transaction, so terminated, right? So these are the states of transaction, right? Okay, now once again let us see what is states of transaction. First, active state. Okay, so where it's beginning, okay, or some read or write operation performed. Okay, so during that state. So partial state goes into the partial committed. That means some successfully you have registered, you have recorded, or you have entered pin correctly, everything done. Okay, but it didn't finish. Okay, so committed, so your transaction is committed means you have completed successful, then only you will say committed. Okay, now whatever the changes will be recorded in the database. For example, if I withdraw 5,000 successfully, then 10,000 minus 5,000, it will update as 5,000. My account balance as 5,000, right? Failed state, just like pin, entering wrong pin, or no balance. Okay, no proper balance in your account. So this fails, you can say check fails. Okay, so all validation, data validation fails. Okay, all these check fails will leads to transaction failure, that will leads to abort, that means rollback. Okay, terminated state, this is the end of the state. Okay, end of the state is called as terminated state, and here it ends and it will again restart, right? Okay, so friends, I hope you have understood the transactions. Okay, what is definition of transaction, what are the operations in the transaction, what are the properties of transaction, what are the states of transaction. So friend, if you like this video, don't forget to like, okay, and support me. Thank you.